Hey guys, and welcome back to Her Revision Podcast, the podcast for women who are rewriting the stories that they tell themselves and that the world tells them. And today, as you can tell, my lighting is probably a little bit differently if you're watching me on YouTube, because it's a little bit later in the day and I decided to film or record because I got the urge to. But also, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was pretty okay today, but I took a nap. And I don't know if this has ever happened to y'all, where you take a nap or you wake up in the morning and you just feel off. Like you just feel, I don't know, like you don't feel like doing nothing and nothing dramatic is going on. Nothing big has happened, nothing like life changing or nobody majorly hurt me or anything like that. I just feel like I got the blues or something. Okay. And I'm in this weird funk. And, you know, when you get here, your mind starts to race and starts to overthink. And, you know, I talked about me course correcting that. So I thought a good idea was to talk it out. And specifically, this would be an episode for the women that have felt like this or who do wake up sometimes and feel the blues. And you know, maybe you beat yourself up about it. Maybe you're like, oh, you don't deserve to feel this way because nothing's going on in your life. Nothing's wrong. But I'm here to normalize it. And I want to share how I deal with it and some of the things that I've been doing so you don't feel alone, because I know this is a very common feeling with a lot of people. So I do want to talk about how even when you do feel this way, one of the things that I have to keep telling myself and reminding myself is just because you have down moments or moments when you are in your feelings and you really can't explain it does not mean something is wrong with you. And also it doesn't mean that something's wrong with your life. Your brain will try to trick you into believing that something is off, something's not right, just because you feel down or you woke up and you're just feeling off. And I think that even on days when everything does seem okay on the surface, it is normal for you to feel low sometimes. And I think just as much as we normalize finding joy and becoming the best version of yourself, we also have to normalize that you will have days when you just won't feel that way. And no matter how much inspiration, motivation you may hear, you just probably won't be in the mood. You probably won't be in the mood. And it might be because of stress. It might be because of hormones. It might be because you ain't been getting enough sleep, girl. Or even just a buildup of everyday pressures and the things that you feel like you haven't done yet or you still have to do all up in your mind, you know. And I do think that all of the feelings that I just described are part of being human. It does not make you weak and it does not mean you're failing. And I really want to emphasize that, because sometimes I have had the tendency to feel like I'm doing something wrong because I shouldn't feel this way. I should not feel sad. What are you sad about, Jazz? You're in a good place. Like, yeah, you may not have everything you want, but you cannot be sitting around upset for no reason. And I want to debunk that, because I feel like that is, I ain't gonna call it self-sabotage, but I'm gonna call it self-sabotage. Sometimes you have to feel your emotions, and not all your emotions will be happy-go-lucky, and that is okay. I want you to understand that it is completely okay to have these days. You don't need a huge crisis to feel down. Your feelings are valid no matter what's happening around you, no matter what you may be feeling momentarily. Sometimes we do get caught up in the idea that if everything's not upbeat, that damn, we might be doing something wrong, because you may have a moment or a day where you're just not feeling it. Oh, you're ungrateful. And I'm here to remind you that it is fine to feel down sometimes. It does not make you any less strong or any less capable, or it does not mean that you will not get everything that you know, God intends for you. But the only way to work through those emotions is to feel. And I'm starting to understand that for myself. It's been a minute where I felt like I went through a brief part of my life where I just wanted to suppress all of my emotions. I wanted to not feel sad. I wanted to only feel joy, to only feel, you know, happiness. But from a mental health perspective, sometimes those moments when you do feel down and not your happiest self, or you may be in your head and sad, they can sometimes be a signal that you do need to take care of yourself. You do need to love on yourself a little bit more. If that means having a self-care day, if that means turning your phone on Do Not Disturb and turning your favorite artist on and just dancing away to their song, singing your heart out by yourself, then so be it. Sometimes you need to recalibrate, right? I think that my body has triggers, so to speak, or how do I phrase this? I think sometimes I need to do a better job at listening to my body. The days when I feel down, while I do think that it is very much healthy to sit in that for a minute, it's very healthy to feel, even if it's not, the happiest of feelings. But I do think that when you do feel down and you do have the blues, it is important to slow down and to not just try to you snap out of it. You can't feel that way. No, slow down and take that in, because your body is trying to tell you something. And even if that means you don't isolate and that means that you talk to someone about how you're feeling, that's okay too. It's not about fixing yourself, because you're not fixing yourself because you're broken. You're recognizing that you deserve care just like anybody else. And it doesn't have to be because something major just went on in your life. It does not have to be because you have reached your lowest of the low points. It is okay to talk through your emotions when you're not feeling it without it being your 13th reason why. You get what I'm saying? Like, that is okay. It is actually a lot more healthier to talk through it as it happens, or to get it out and to channel it as it happens, instead of waiting until you burst because you've just been feeling this and holding it in so long. It is okay. So what can you do when you're feeling that way though, right? And I do think a lot of the times it's like, okay, I get you. I hear you. Okay, it's healthy. Okay, understandable, Jazz. But what do I do when I feel that way? Because leave it up to me, I'm going to stay in the bed, put my head under the cover, and scroll on TikTok. I'm going to do absolutely nothing. I'm going to wallow. And quite frankly, I think that's okay too, y'all. I think sometimes it's okay to have your moment where you're just like, rest. Just exist for a second. Just exist. We have so much going on in our lives and so many things that we have to take care of that it is very easy to reach the point or the day or the moment where you wake up and you just tired. I think that I can attribute being tired, and not just physically tired, but also mentally tired. I can attribute being tired to, maybe feeling the blues every now and again, because you're always on go. You always have responsibilities and things that you got to take care of. You may be many things to many people, and it is very easy to feel burnout. So don't beat yourself up for not immediately going into fix-it mode because you feel sad. Feel that. Listen to that. Maybe you do need to recuperate. Maybe you do need to rest for a second. Maybe you do need to comfort yourself. It's very easy for us to comfort our friends or our family that may be going through a hard time and, lending an ear to them or being very understanding. Do the same for yourself. You got to learn how to love on yourself even when you are not feeling your most joyful. I have to be my own warm hug sometimes because I know that there are moments when I need that. And you may not always be around someone or able to talk to someone or call someone to make you feel better, so to speak. So instead of denying your emotions, give yourself permission to feel them. It is okay to say, I'm not feeling my best today. I'm not doing well. I don't feel it. I can't explain it. I can't put it into words, but I'm just not feeling it. It's okay. You have to recognize that your feelings is the first step. You have to recognize that recognizing your feelings is the first step to moving forward. On days where you feel like your motivation is low, or you wake up and you just like, I have no desire to do anything at all. I don't. Try doing one small thing. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to go over and beyond. We already have to wake up and live our life, especially if you are a black woman. You already have to wake up and be the best of the best every day. And don't get me wrong, that does get very exhausting. So slow down. Give yourself grace to slow down. If that one small thing is making a cup of coffee or a small cup of tea, if that means, stepping outside and breathing fresh air for a few minutes, jotting down your thoughts, journaling, picking a scripture and just diving into that, talking out loud to God, because He is your friend. That's my friend. Those little steps can make a big difference. Stop thinking that the way that you can get out of a slump has to be monumental. It doesn't. Having a basic routine, what I'm realizing is having a basic routine can help me feel more grounded. I was just laying in my bed feeling so down for whatever reason. It was random because I woke up this morning and I was fine, right? You feel good. You prayed this morning. You read the Bible. Like, why do you feel? I took a nap. When I woke up from a nap, I felt off. Like, now I feel like the expectations on my shoulders or something. Like, I don't know, and I can't explain it to y'all why I just felt so heavy all of a sudden, but all I could do in that moment was pray. And God, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. But all I could do was pray. But also, I told myself, okay, you're not feeling it, and that's valid. You damn sure don't want to start your work week. Sick of this job, y'all. I don't want to go. But what can you do to get yourself slowly but surely out of this feeling? All right, take it one step at a time. Take it one task at a time. Don't try to do too much. What can you do to lighten the load, the emotional load? All right, Jazz, you're going to record this episode because this is cathartic to me. This is very therapeutic. You're going to make your food. You're going to pack your lunch for tomorrow so you don't have to worry about that. You're going to put your clothes out for tomorrow so that you already have your outfit laid out. For me, this is what helps. Routine helps me. Having, making myself feel a little bit more ease is very helpful for me. Planning ahead is very, very helpful to me. So that's what I'm going to do. You're going to take a nice hot shower, an everything shower, if you will, and you're just going to exist. You're not going to do any more work. You're not going to do any more nothing. You're just going to exist. It is crazy to me how many things I realized I could do when I got to a certain age. I'm allowed to just lay in my bed and rot. I can do that too. I'm allowed to just put on music and just stare at the ceiling. Especially when I'm in a mood, especially when I'm not feeling it. I'm allowed to do that because it makes me feel better. The ways that you decide to help yourself get out of these feelings or feel, these blues, it doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to go and buy myself a spa package. Sometimes it just has to be something that gives you a sense of stability. You do not have to force yourself to be happy all the time. Treat yourself with kindness, which I am learning to do more and more, but also know that it is okay to have off days when you're just not feeling it. I want you to remember that feeling down does not diminish your strength. It doesn't mean that you are weak. It doesn't mean that you are not able to handle all that life throws at you. It is a part of life to feel down sometimes. It does not mean that you're not doing enough. It does not mean that you're failing. Every day that you show up for yourself, even if it's a tough day and you just hug yourself and you're like, girl, it's gonna be okay. Every day that you make the effort is a win. And I'll take it even a step further and say that it is a way for you to show God that you care just as much about His creation as He cares for you. Because everybody knows that when you care for something that God has blessed you with, even if that is your physical body, even if that is your mental state of mind, that He rewards that. He loves that. So even if you don't feel it in your heart right now to be joyful, to be your best self, know that all you got to do is love on yourself just a little bit, even in those tough days. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening. I think this episode was a little shorter than normal, but I had to say that, and I think it just helped me. Hopefully it makes you guys feel a little bit better if you are in or you have moments like this. And if you've ever felt like this at all, I'd love for you to share what helps you get through these low moments. I really do appreciate everybody who listens to the podcast. I would love for you guys to leave a review. Give me 5 stars if you will. And also like, comment, subscribe if you're watching me on YouTube. And just thank you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting forth the effort to revise every time that you listen to an episode. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter that drops every Friday. Anyways, thank you. Love you. Bye.